this book is forcing me to relax off of the idea of logical systems, logical here, this means that, and this goes here, and X, Y, Z. This is pushing me to release the logic and understand that, okay, cool, maybe this time you have to let go of what you understand as truth and understand of the things that used to work for you and work at it with a different system to uncover more. There are parts of you that want to do this systemized. This means that. 1 + 1 = 2. This, that, binary, black, white, X, Y, Z. And sometimes when you want to excel to the next level, and sometimes it's not even the next level, but better understandings of yourself, better understanding of your key awareness and your sensory around yourself, you have to let go of the idea of logic. Because the idea of logic will keep you so regimented that you will miss the magic that comes when you let go of logic. Because there's a certain magic that comes when you have no logic. You understand where you're going, but there's no logic. So the next step that you're taking, you understand as logic because yes, one foot in front of the other. That's logic. But you don't understand that that next step sometimes is created by you let going of the logic so that universal and laws can come into place. Oh, but that sounds too philosophical. What the fuck does that mean? And I don't know if you've experienced this. Some say this is called supernatural. Some call this because nothing's a coincidence. So if you've ever experienced where you need something to happen at a certain time, but you don't know how it's going to happen. But your logic is telling you that there's no possible way that that next step is going to appear. And so then you get into your own emotions and get into your own process of thinking, which then inevitably you can create your next step by doing something else. And that next step may be in a different position than the previous step that you were going to step. But if you allow yourself to let go of the idea of the logical beliefs and you just let life and let your own powers that you have been compounding over time create the next step for you without knowing exactly what it's going to be and what it's going to look like when it shows up. That is the logic I'm talking about. So today's message, I think, is all about removing the logic away from your system sometimes and allowing the system to work for you and create something that you don't even understand is going to work. And if that didn't resonate with you, buddy, I don't know how to explain that any better, because sometimes this logical thing that we got going on is not going to make any sense once you take it away. And this is a message more so for the people that can feel it and the people that understand it. Not for me to explain, not for me to really go any depth or trying to give you proof, but know that the next step that you're looking for may just appear because you followed a routine so long that, hey, now it's time for the next step and you have no choice. Like we said the other day, when you get pushed to the cliff and the next step is to jump, but you don't have a parachute on, but you don't understand that what's going to catch you is going to take you far beyond what you could ever imagine. And that you can't explain, because that you can't prepare for, that you can't guess what's going to happen, you can't predict it, you just know. There's a certain knowing that you have to have when you're on this path of life, this path of entrepreneurship, this path of truth. Because I think when you're on a path of truth, a lot of the things that you're going to go through are going to put you through the fucking ringer, and you'll feel the cycles as they come and they ebb and they flow and they go in the cycle and they go and they go and they go. But then you'll get so self-aware to a point where you no longer have to worry about the cycles or realize what's going on, but you just exist and allow your life to continue down the path that it's going. And regardless or not, if you're prepared, you still allow it to flow. And I think I'm at that point where it's like life's been great, life's been uncovering, life's been true. I've lived true to my voice. I've lived true to the understandings of what I know is right for me, not for everybody else. And now you're stepping into a new era where you have to let go of the logic that preceded you or that helped you before. And that is a daring fucking task to do for a person who loves control. I love to know where I'm going. I love to have that control to see. I love to have that control of the ability to predict, not even predict, but to create the next step. And so maybe this will clarify what I was saying before. Letting go of that logic, that control over a system to understand what the next step is so I can prepare for the step after that step, and continuing until I hit a checkpoint, let's say, because you're never really going to hit the destination of where you're looking for. You're just going to keep going, because life is an evolutionary thing, not a destination thing. So you're going to be stuck on this process forever. You're going to be on this step after step process for a long period of time. And so when you're sitting here in this long period of time of just going through the process and understanding that you create your next step, to get to a place of world awareness where you have to let go of the control that helped you so long, and removing of the logic and just trusting yourself enough to know that the next step is going to appear without any understanding of what it is or how it's going to operate, and just trusting that when you step, your path will continue, and just let it lead you, because where it's leading you is true to you. And that's what frightens people. That's what people run from. That feeling that I just explained of you having absolute no control over your next step, but knowing that there's a next step there. That looking over the cliff and seeing that there's nothing but death, quote unquote. Not realizing that there's a ledge, there's a plane, there's something that's about to catch you and take you to where your next step should be, and it will fulfill you the way that no other step before you has. But you have to let go of the idea that if I jump, I'm gonna fall. Whew. And that is scary as fuck. But do not allow your emotions, your thoughts and your emotions to then force you to make actions that lead up to a reality that you did not sign up for. Because a lot of the time we fall into this place of fear, not because of our own desires, but allowing the thoughts to override our emotions, and our emotions make the negative thought, and then the negative thought makes the negative action. The action then creates the reality that we hate. And so if you allow yourself to even ponder on the negative for too long, you're going to find yourself in a rut. So do not allow yourself to ponder on that thought too long. Just look over the edge. Know that you have to jump at some point, and if you don't jump, you're going to be pushed. And if you don't realize that your next step is going to appear, regardless or not, if you push or you jump, you might as well just jump and find that next step, because it's going to appear. I can't give you any more than that, because when you're at that cliff, and anybody who's an entrepreneur that understands what I'm saying to you right now, when you're at that cliff, no one can tell you what to do. The only thing you have to make your mind and your heart come in contact with, or come into full understanding, is that we must jump. We must. If you ever jumped out of a plane, if you ever went cliff diving or cliff jumping, if you ever jumped from a high point into water, or had a parachute on and cliff jumping, whatever, you understand the feeling I'm talking about. You're looking over, you're seeing your certain death, and it's like, fuck. But then you have to jump anyways. And more than likely, 99% of the time, you are not going to die. You are going to get a feeling of bliss and realize that the fear that you were holding on to not only made you hesitate on the jump that brought you so much relief, but also is more blissful, because now the fear was only prior to the jump. The second you jumped, you feel amazing. So jump. If I can give you anything today, I know it wasn't a very structured, put together video, but if I can give you anything in any position you are in, if you are at the cliff right now and you have no choice but to jump, just jump. Your next step will appear faster, more clear, more precise, more sharp, when you just get into the understanding that I must jump, so I will jump. And what comes after this will come. And I don't give a fuck what comes. I'm gonna face it. I'm going to figure it out. And hey, sometimes I'm going to even allow the releasing of the logic to build out my next step. If it resonated with you, peace be with you. If it didn't, argue with your mom, get the fuck up out of here.
Boy, Mr. Brown.